Hello and welcome to the Surplus Geek Podcast. I'm Jake and I am joined by Bailey, who is back from his time away.
Hey, it's great to be back.
So this episode is not going to be really focused on military surplus because I want to take this opportunity to talk to Bailey about his time at Yellowstone. So we're going to focus on that. So I apologize for people expecting more surplus talk, but well, I got to take this opportunity. So are you ready to talk about Yellowstone?
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right, so you were a park ranger at Yellowstone?
Yeah, I was a park ranger from May until the end of October of this year. But there were many positions of being a park ranger, such as like law enforcement, fee collection, which is what I did down at the south entrance. You can also be a park guide, a tour guide, and many other things. You can also do, it depends on the park where you want to go to, but there's also like stuff that involves with science and history and whatnot. It's just not mostly just nature based. There's also a lot of science and history that goes behind the parks itself, because we also have national parks, national monuments, national battlefields, national seashores, and many other things.
Yeah, so basically, park ranger covers more than just national parks. It covers a lot of stuff. So, which I think a lot of people don't realize. I think they just think you're just some dude wearing a weird hat, standing out in the woods. But besides that, so why did you want to be a park ranger? I think we might have covered this a little bit before you left, but we'll just go over it again.
So my definition again might be different than last time because I kind of have a different perspective now how I look into it. But as again, I've graduated a degree in history, so I do want to pursue my career in something with that, such as working at like a national battlefield, potentially working as a archive technician, or as a park guide, or anything that has to do with history related that I would love to, get into and enjoy it actually. But I still love the nature aspect of it, so I think going back out west and stuff like that, especially experiencing like Yellowstone for the first time, actually for it being my first season inside the Park Service, that was actually, a great experience that many cannot, get nowadays. It's a very competitive field from what I've heard and talked to and other past employees and whatnot.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's not like there's an infinite number of positions. You guys only need so many people covering each park or battlefield or whatever.
Well, the problem too with the smaller parks, not like, size-wise, it's just mostly like the employment status of like how many they have work at the time. So for the most part, bigger parks do rely off temporary positions, seasonal positions as well, which is about 5 or 6 months of the year. Then they can go back to their last job or keep working for the National Park Service. But then again, like I was trying to get to about the smaller parks, was that they mostly have permanent positions, which is where they would work until they either retire or something else to happen to them, and that's when a new position would actually finally open up for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So kind of, you already alluded to what a park ranger is because it's not just one thing, it's multiple different, and it depends on the location. But you guys wear a specific uniform.
We do. So when you first start out, you're actually given a uniform allowance. It depends on which park or like the season. I think for me it was about 500, maybe 600 to start off with a uniform allowance. I could buy whatever I wanted to. We can choose. It depended on the for the seasons and whatnot. We actually had to wear specific uniform pieces. Like for instance, we wear like a modernized, stylized campaign hat, like the M1910 Montana Peak Air campaign hat, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes from. Yeah.
But in the summer, the hats are made out of straw, while the ones in the winter are made out of felt.
Makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
especially in Yellowstone, where the difference in temperature.
That's a weird thing too, because you could be working Yellowstone summer and winter.
Yeah.
You'd be changing your clothes and uniform pieces interchangeably, but you could be literally working like in Florida and still wear your winter uniform all year round because there's no need for a felt hat.
You mean wear your summer all year long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can wear your
No,
summer
I know
uniform
what you
all
mean.
year round.
That makes sense, yeah, because it's dependent on the weather,
climate and stuff you're in. Yeah.
And in Yellowstone, it actually does get snow. So,
Yep.
but you weren't there for. Wait, was there any snow before
There
you
was
left?
snow in September.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So what was Yellowstone like? Because I've never gone, and eventually maybe I'll go. But
It was beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah. There's so much I didn't even get to do that I wanted to do while I was there. Like, I like to hike. That's why I kind of went to. It's just to go out and about and hike. I did about 5-mile, 10-mile hikes some days and stuff like that. I just go out like half a day, bring like 30 to 50 pounds of gear on my back, and just go out and hike and come back home and just relax, make a nice dinner. But there are some hikes out there that I have not done yet that I want to go do whenever I get the chance to go back, which I might end up going back maybe next year in the summer. So hopefully that's the case. But one day I actually did a 20-mile hike one day just for fun, I guess, if you think of it that way. It was really gorgeous. I took so many good pictures when I was doing that hike. I actually passed by some parts that were actually burnt down from, I forget the fire's name, but it happened back in the 80s. They actually burnt down a good amount of Yellowstone back in the day. I passed by certain sections that were burnt down. I also passed by geothermal areas and whatnot. The trail itself is also called Heart Lake. It's driving on the main road from the south entrance. It's about like 15-20 minutes up the road. You want to take a right, and you park in this dirt parking lot, and just start going on this hike. It's also meant for like backcountry camping too and whatnot. Like, you can also reserve these campsites.
Oh, that's cool.
In the backcountry, people can like hike out there with their tents and stuff like that, and camping.
So like real camping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not glamping.
Hardcore camping, I'd say.
Yeah.
But we also have these ranger cabins out there, because we also have like backcountry law enforcement, LE law enforcement that go out there and stay out there for like a week and patrol the area pretty much for like wildlife and any other incidents and whatnot. But usually sometimes if the cabin is not occupied, you can actually stay in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Until they kind of have to kick you out until they have to use it pretty much. Because I went out there hiking. I'm like, I might do that one day. And there's actually volunteer rangers there, and they were just talking to me and whatnot. So that's pretty cool.
That sounds pretty awesome. It's cool that there's that option. I didn't realize you could camp anywhere inside.
It is designated areas.
Well,
like,
yeah, but you can still.
the backcountry, you do have to get a permit online or call the number or whatever.
But that's still cool, though.
Yeah, but if you kind of like rough it, like without any permits or anything like that, you can get in big trouble for that.
Oh, yeah, I figured. Yeah, I know. There's a huge hubbub about filming on Yellowstone.
You had to get special permits and whatnot. You have to like.
Apparently, it's ridiculous how the permitting is done, but we'll stay away from that topic. It's not something I know anything about. So wildlife obviously was something that you saw a lot of too.
Oh yeah,
It's just everywhere.
It's everywhere, no matter where you go. But that's a funny thing too, is because we're telling people, oh, you can go here and look at, you might see bison, you might see a bear, you might see something here. They don't see them half the time, and they get all,
They get mad.
They get mad because they thought I lied to them. I'm like, no, it's just how animals are. They do whatever they feel like.
It's funny if you spend any time. I spent a little bit of time in Colorado because my sister used to live in Colorado. Yeah, wildlife just walks down the street. It just doesn't care.
Yeah,
they just go wherever they want, and I feel like it's probably the same there. You probably see more, but just because it's a little bit less populated, but it's enough that
Yeah. I remember going to work at one of the campgrounds one day while on duty, and it was like around 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and there was actually a grizzly bear walking along the side of the road going the opposite way of my car. I was heading north.
Was he on his side of the lane?
Actually, he was. He was actually doing pretty good.
Oh, nice.
He was going the speed limit.
Signals?
Going the speed limit.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't think I'd want to pull over a grizzly bear.
No, I wouldn't either. I don't want to mess with them.
License and registration. Claw.
Get clawed in the face.
So And you do have photos on your Instagram, right?
I posted a few, but I want to get around and actually... So I do have pictures on my camera that I took with me of other stuff, one of my hikes and stuff like that. But I also have more pictures from the camera that my parents actually came out when they picked me up from Yellowstone. They actually took more pictures on the camera. They actually came out really well. So I want to take those pictures and eventually do a couple posts maybe on them, because the limit's 10 images on Instagram. So I might do like about 2 to 3 posts about the...
really limits what you can do.
I might, honestly, for a post idea, I actually might do like my top 10 favorite pictures from Yellowstone.
That'd be fun.
So I might do something like that. I might post a couple videos on there too as well, because I actually did get some good videos while I was out there.
And just so everyone knows, because if anyone only listens to the podcast and doesn't actually know us from Instagram, his name has changed on Instagram since the last time he was on. He used to be Billy's Militaria Collection. Now he is Yankee Militaria. Yep. So just so everyone knows, it's at Yankee Militaria, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I made the logo for him, just saying. A little bit
it's
of...
all right. Could have
pretty good logo.
Could have been better.
I also made your Christmas logo as well.
You did. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's Yellowstone. I feel like...
Oh, you could talk more about Yellowstone.
Yeah, we'll keep getting into it. So you had to live... This is a job where you live at the job, basically. Are you technically on call 24/7, or
it depends on the situation, I guess. But for me, not really. No.
So you guys are on like shifts?
Yeah, we're on shifts.
You guys have graveyard shifts?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So where did you live while you were out there?
So I live like literally. I live right at my job. I was like probably about a minute or two walk for like my actual position, because we lived in a housing complex for the rangers and other rangers and whatnot, and other like spouses too and other families, and we just walk across towards the ranger station. That's where pretty much we get our daily information, like news or whatever, anything that we should be aware of throughout the day and stuff like that. And we just go out and work in the booth, which we would collect the fees and whatnot for the entrance. And
you guys lived in what? So the housing complex, was it like cabins or?
There were a few cabins. You had the option of either choosing a federal housing situation or your own housing situation, which would be living in your own trailer, like a RV or something like that. And what I decided to do was to live in a trailer for 6 months, and that was quite a venture of itself right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it interesting living on your own?
It was really weird.
I mean, you did college.
I did college.
But it's not the same as being on your own.
Yes and no. The way I looked at it was like, it kind of reminded me of college, living with myself in my own dorm. But I don't have my dorm mates or anything like that, my roommates.
And you also have a little bit more space in the dorm, I feel like.
Yeah, but this
your bathroom is also your bathroom.
Yeah, which was nice. I had to clean my own urine and stuff like that, which was a relief.
Yeah, it's always nice when you're not dealing with... Because when I went to college, we had kind of the whole floor had one bathroom.
Yep.
So it was only 2 toilets for like 20, 30 people.
Yep.
It was not fun. And only 2 showers. 1 bath with a shower, and then just a standard stand-up shower.
In my college, it depends where I was at, but if I was like a apartment, I guess, we had 2 bathrooms, and usually 2 people would share each bathroom.
See, that's not bad, but
no.
ours was... It was not a fun... It was not a fun experience.
I got lucky, too, because my roommate left.
So you're just by yourself?
So I was by myself, the bathroom by myself.
Yeah, I like my roommate.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't like the setup. I mean, the military had better bathrooms than that college had, so I mean that tells you everything you need to know. But
yeah,
I mean, better facilities, as in barracks facilities, were better. Not the range bathrooms. That's a whole other story.
Yeah,
those are freaking terrifying. So like, I know while you were out there, we talked and stuff. For the first half of the time you're out there, you had to drive like 45 minutes to get good enough self-service.
Sometimes,
to have a phone call. And then eventually you got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so at first it was kind of hard because it's hard to kick a habit, really, if you think about it, because we're so like hooked on our technology and our phones every day, especially our computers and whatnot.
Yeah.
For me, it was hard because I'm so young. I'm like, oh, I got to do all this tech-savvy crap and stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to look at your phone.
I want to
You
look at my
wanna
phone.
have
Yeah,
access
I
to
want to
it,
wake up, look at YouTube of kitties playing whatever, something
Yeah,
like that.
and
I want
I
to look
mean,
at TikTok.
You actually did the smart thing. You kind of took yourself away from a lot of your social
I did.
media.
I actually disconnected from most of my social media. I still occasionally talk to people and whatnot, but I wasn't always on like my YouTube, my Snapchat, anything like that. I actually disconnected for a little bit. I actually felt a lot more better about myself.
Yeah, it helps to get away. I think, yeah. And not only that, you're in nature, probably cleaner air than you used to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about that, just being away from the hubbub of the technology-driven life that we live. That is not the focus of this podcast, but that could be a podcast. But I'm not an expert in that field. So you spent 6 months roughly out there.
Yeah.
Anything fun happened when you were out there? Anything crazy? Anything you can talk about that's not going to get us in trouble? Yeah.
There are some things that I can mention, but there are some things I cannot mention.
I figured.
I can say it off the podcast in person, but I can't talk about it on the podcast because it can actually be used against me. So
we'll leave those ones out.
I'll talk about stuff I can probably mention that won't get me in a lot of trouble. But so usually we do carry like radios, like we carry like radios on us at all times. It's a proximity radio, like we can actually call people within the park using our codes or whatnot. And we also have other.
What's the brand for the radio people out there?
The brand that we used?
Yeah.
Motorola.
Okay.
It was like $1,000 radio.
Yeah, I figured. I just want to know because people out there would probably be interested in knowing.
Yeah, it was like I forget what it was, but it was like a Motorola or something.
Someone
like
out there does a park ranger impression.
Yeah.
They want to know these information.
We had to wear badges specifically. They had to be 3/4 up from the seam of our right pocket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys, it's similar standards to the military. Things have to be in a certain order because you're a representative of the park services.
Yep.
So you
the federal government, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, would it technically fall under park services, whatever National Park Services, NPS?
Well, Department of Interior.
Is it really Department of Interior?
Yeah, it was NPS. Then there's a bunch of other subdivisions. Then it's the over.
And then you go to the NPS. Okay, that makes sense.
Then
I guess.
Then it's overrun or overruled by the Department of Interior. Then actually it's like another department.
That's interesting.
Above that. Yeah.
So technically a federal government. Interesting. Yeah. Didn't know that.
So here's a fun fact, actually. Yellowstone National Park actually has its own federal jurisdiction system where we have our own judge, jury, and a courthouse.
Where's the jury selected from? Just from people that live on the federal land, or is it just all park rangers? I know that's not how it works.
I think. I don't know. I think
it probably is selected from the state.
I believe so.
But that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird. So
I would assume that any sort of federal case that goes through is probably like a judge-based judgment, no jury.
Yeah.
Where maybe it's a 3-panel judge system or something like that. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the case itself. I'm pretty sure, but I think again it's also just judge and.
But it makes sense because if Yellowstone itself is public land or federal land, it would be in its own jurisdiction, so you'd have to be covered by something for a judge. So it makes sense that you'd have your own federal jail, federal enforcement of law.
Yep.
Because you're talking about something that's technically separate from the state in which you are a part of, sort of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind, too. If you're on Yellowstone and you commit a crime, don't do it. You're committing a federal crime. Also, I am not a lawyer, so none of this is legal advice.
I can't advocate for anything, but just don't do anything dumb.
Yeah, well, we can advocate for that. Don't do bad things. So you really can't talk about too many of your stories because we don't want to put you at risk of not being able to continue your career as a park ranger. So I guess we might skip that. And
well, I do have a good story, but it should be fine. So back to the radios. This kind of plays into the part of the story itself. The radios, people can contact each other, like I said, using codes or whatnot. They can call dispatch. I'm not sure if I was there for it one day, or actually no, I was actually had off, and I heard it over the radio. I was in my trailer. You can just turn on your radio and just listen to like the law enforcement, other rangers going at it on the radio and stuff like that, talking about the situations and whatnot. But I think I talked to you about this. What, the U-Haul truck maybe?
No, I don't think you brought this up.
Okay, so this might be a good one. So one day, a U-Haul truck comes through one of the entrances. I can't remember if it's either the east or the west entrance, one of the two. And apparently they were notified. Ellie was notified. Which is Ellie is law enforcement, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah.
So Ellie was notified about the U-Haul truck. I think either the driver acting suspicious or the driving recklessly. But it turned out that the U-Haul truck was actually a stolen vehicle, I believe.
Oh, so it came back as stolen.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Cause
and in the back of it, apparently, it was actually involved allegedly in a bunch of stolen possession items in the back of the U-Haul truck. Also, the people in the truck, the driver and the the passenger, had, I believe, felonies.
They had warrants?
Yeah, they had warrants, and they were in possession of a firearm.
So this just got worse and worse and worse.
It keeps getting worse. I think this is what happened. This is from what I heard over the radio. Other people telling me.
The radio version of it, yeah.
So,
anyone wants to FOIA request that, go right ahead.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm just trying to think. So, from what I heard over the radio, other Ellie's telling me is that the guy actually had an AR hidden behind a piece of cardboard on his right side of his driver's side.
That's not sketchy.
No, so it was hidden. So that's another thing that Ellie has to be aware of the situation too, is that no matter what you're doing, they can always use lethal force regardless.
Well, not only that, if you're legally carrying a firearm,
yeah,
it's smart.
It is
if you get pulled over to alert any.
It is legal
Leo
to carry a firearm in Yellowstone. You just have to, I think it has to be concealed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But anywhere, any jurisdiction, generally speaking, even if it's not a law, it's smart to always alert an officer that you have a firearm. Just to prevent that officer from feeling unsafe. Now, it doesn't always work out, and I'm not going to get into it because there's political connotation there. But the state that we're in, I'm pretty sure you're legally required to tell the officer if you're concealed carrying. And again, no legal advice here, but I think it's just a little quick highlight to just be like, yeah, you should never give up any of your rights. But when it comes to firearms and cops, we know what happens. It's not a bad idea to be like, hey, this and that. But again, no legal advice. This is just us opining on the situation. So, yeah, you got the radio version of it, so who knows how crazy it was.
Well, here's the other part about the U-Haul truck story. So, you know how the U-Haul has those, like, murals or whatever, like the Golden Gate Bridge or something like that, whatever.
The van.
The Mississippi or whatever, Missouri Loop, whatever that thing is, the Golden Arch, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, Ellie, you're over the radio, frantically going like, what kind of truck was it? And like, it was a U-Haul truck. And I'm like, all right, what did it have for like a description? They got saying the plates and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, what does it look like? They're like, I don't know. I think it had either a panda or a walrus on the side of it. And I'm like, what? Okay. So they were trying to figure out like where this U-Haul truck was going and coming from and stuff like that. So they're like, LE number, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Be on the lookout for either a walrus or a panda U-Haul truck heading either east or westbound.
That's a lot of information that's not helpful.
I know. It's like, okay.
It's going west, north, east, or south. Be on the lookout for something.
Well, it's kind of easy to pinpoint where, if they know where the entrance they're coming from, it's easy to indicate where they're coming from. Yeah, where they're going.
That makes sense, but it is still funny to be like...
Because if they're already deep inside the park, it's kind of hard to know.
Yeah.
Because, again, it can be going, like, he's heading eastbound from the east entrance, so it's like he either hasn't gone that far in yet. It's so easy to catch him, but then again...
Yeah, it could go both ways on that.
Yeah.
I get that, yeah. It doesn't help, too, that all U-Hauls have Arizona plates.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because Arizona is something to do with taxes and registering the vehicles. If you know, I could be wrong about this. Someone can fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure Arizona, they all have Arizona plates for some sort of tax reason or price or whatever it costs to do it. Whatever, something like that. It's one of those little fun facts that you learn about U-Haul.
Yep.
I could be wrong. Could be a different company, but I thought it was U-Haul. But anyways, so that doesn't help law enforcement.
No, so I think...
Where are they coming from? Well, every U-Haul is the Arizona plate, so that doesn't help us.
So I think they ended up finally getting arrested and stuff like that, from what I've heard and stuff. But that's all I know.
It's kind of funny, though. You get like a whole incident happen over radio, and you're just like, oh.
Walrus or panda? It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
How do you not know the difference between a walrus and a panda?
I don't know. They were like...
They're very different.
I know. I'm like, what? Okay. Especially there being a panda on a U-Haul truck. Well, I think they do.
I could see that.
They do butterflies and stuff on there too.
I can see a panda. I can see a walrus. I just don't know how you can mistake the two. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
They're very different.
I guess I'm trying to think about the stories too.
Roundish, but
there was one story where one Ellie that I know and work with, he was involved with a high-speed chase
through Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, 100 miles per hour.
Through Yellowstone?
100 miles per hour, yeah, through Yellowstone, yeah.
And what's the speed limit in Yellowstone? 15?
It depends. It said 15.
Is it 15 miles an hour? 25?
Some certain sections, like if you're passing through like a high pedestrian area or like a high visitation area, it's about 25. But overall, throughout the park, I think it's 45 or 55.
Oh, that's 45. Actually a lot higher than I would expect. I guess it makes sense. It's a big area, but
this guy was going 100 miles per hour through the Old Faithful area. I give the guy props for going that fast, especially through that area.
Is it like windy or?
Yeah, it's but the problem too was the area is going under construction during the time, so there's a lot of construction cones and barriers and whatnot
just
there,
stuff in the way,
and it's very narrow. And not only that, it goes from like one lane to like 2 lanes for like 5 seconds, and down to 1 lane, and another 2 more lanes within the 5 seconds after that, and that's at 1 lane. And again, it's Old Faithful, so you have cars coming in and out at that entire time throughout that area.
Wow, I'm surprised they were able to. I mean, maybe they weren't actually going 100. Maybe
the
cop was using.
No, he was going 100.
Yeah,
I think top speed was like 103 miles per hour.
Officer, when did you last check your radar? No, just kidding.
But they finally got to the guy, but the way that it could have ended, the guy actually almost could have gotten killed.
Oh yeah, going 100 miles an hour through.
The issue that happened was that the Ellie that I was talking to about it actually was behind the vehicle that was going 100 miles per hour. He pulled into a kind of dirt road, and he pulled in far enough that the Ellie said it was almost like a perfect ambush spot that the guy could have gotten out, probably could have shot him perfectly for ambush.
Really?
Because he didn't have that much visibility on the suspect.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know if he had any firearms, anything like that or not. Luckily he didn't.
Yeah, especially with the guys driving 100 miles an hour.
I don't know why he was. I forget the reason, but you could probably look that up.
He probably just had a warrant. Yeah, and again, everyone wants to FOIA request any of this stuff.
You can also look up these some of these cases too on the website itself or on the Yellowstone Instagram page. They usually issue these cases out now and then, where people would be like, "Oh, this person was thermal trespassing, $1,000 fine, a night in jail, and banned from the park for the rest of the year and stuff like that." But there's been cases where people would go out of their ways and feed animals from their hands and give a bear. This happened in Grand Teton, which is right below Yellowstone in the south, where this woman was actually feeding a grizzly bear cake from her hand.
That is the worst idea.
And no, the bear didn't attack her, which I'm surprised.
I know, but it's still not a good idea.
No,
not against a grizzly.
So they finally caught her and actually gave her justice, fined her and stuff like that. And I don't think they neutralize the bear, because with instances such as this, we either have to relocate the bear or put it down. Because otherwise it starts to learn the bad habits. And not only that, once it starts to learn that habit of getting food from humans and keep going back to that spot, or is it go back into other areas that have high human traffic.
It starts to seek out humans because it thinks humans equal food.
Reward and
reward. And this is actual advice. People don't feed animals when you're not supposed to feed animals, because this is what happens. There's an actual toll to it, so it's important.
The worst thing too about it is that this grizzly was a mother,
Oh,
So
that could've
she
been
could have been
bad.
feeding her cubs, and the cubs kind of would have caught on and be like, "Ooh, maybe
Yep.
we should take advice." And mother bears usually produce like between 1 to 3, if not 4 cubs per litter every year and stuff like that. So
So
it's
this could have been extremely bad if
yeah.
Did so people do get banned from the parks? And
Oh yeah.
Is there any like lifetime bans or anything?
There are
like-
lifetime bans.
Was there any when you were out there?
No, but there was one I believe a few years ago in Yellowstone.
Really? Was there anyone get banned when you were around, or for like a year? Or
For like a year?
yeah.
Yeah. If you go on the page, whatever, it's tell you that this person was banned from the park for like either the rest of the year or until next year and stuff like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's some where, like I said, they either thermal trespass, and that's very dangerous enough as it is because the ground below, like the geysers and stuff like that,
it's
the hot springs,
unstable,
it's
right?
very fragile.
Yeah.
So you can literally step, not put that much pressure on it, and just fall right through and just burn your skin alive. Like
I was
you
gonna say,
burn
not only
alive.
that, just I know that on one side of the guy, like farther away from the geyser, it's cooler water, but as you get closer,
It's boiling hot.
yeah, you're getting too over.
You're gonna
yeah.
burn alive.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. So, as another important advice, don't jump into boiling water.
Another advice: do not swim in the lakes, anything like that, because that water is freezing almost.
Oh, really?
It's like 40 to 50 degrees.
Wow, that's
You can-
wild that you
can
could
get
have
hypothermia easily.
you could have that cold of water, and then not too far away also have
Yeah.
scalding hot. You know,
Well, there are parts in Yellowstone where you can actually swim in hot springs runoff, but I'm not sure if I would trust it or not. People have done it in the past before, but then again, it's like
yeah,
I don't
you don't
wanna do
want
that.
you don't have Dante's Peak. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen that movie, but that's a good movie, by the way. You've seen Dante's Peak?
I don't think so. No.
It's got who's in Dante's? I'll talk to you after about
Alright.
it, but we don't have to go into here. But it's a good movie. It's about I don't know if it takes place in Yellowstone. I don't think it does. It's about a volcano becoming active and erupting, and it's about the people that live at the base of the volcano and like escaping it and stuff like that. It's a good movie. But there's a scene in the movie where there's these two teenagers in a hot spring, and the hot spring ends up boiling them alive because the temperature rises a lot hotter than it's supposed to be. So good movie. It's a little graphic, but it's a good movie. I recommend it. It came out at the same time as like the movie Volcano. It's like Hollywood always does this where they come out with multiple of the same concepts all at the same time.
Yep.
Just like Deep Impact and Armageddon, I'm pretty sure came out roughly at the same time. I think I could be wrong about that. So that's interesting. I mean, I always assumed that people could get banned, but it's just one of those things you don't think about. Like, I'm assuming it's kind of like a trespass order where you're just being told that you're trespassing on, so they give you like a court order kind of thing, or is it just informal, like you've been banned for a year? Do you guys keep pictures up of the people?
No.
Like you come in and you like hold them up. All right, you're not the guy.
No, it's just I'm not sure how that works actually. I mean, like
It's probably just the honor system.
it has to be.
Like if somebody like if you just know that person, you see them, they recognize them, and you check their name. There's probably a database, I'm assuming.
There is a database.
So you guys have something to reference. But that's what I was thinking. I'm like, how would you even know? Because it's such a big area.
I know.
You guys have so much over.
We have 5
turnover.
entrances. Yeah.
Yeah, with work, because you have temp workers, and it's interesting to think about. But on a side note, while you were out there, you were able to do a little driving, a little going to antique and Army Navy stores and stuff. You were able to pick up a few things.
Yeah.
You got a couple good items for cheap.
I did actually.
So I know what was the best item that you found when you were out there. I can think of what it is, but
Oof. There were a lot of good items. I showed you everything I bought, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
What do you think was the best?
You got the 2-quart out there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like
The cover?
$10, right?
Yeah, $10.
Yeah, and it was in a bin of like,
A bunch of other 2 quarts.
but it was like all Alice.
Well, it was like a mix of 1972 dated ones, Alice, the newest SPO number, whatever it was.
Yeah, the later dated, yeah.
There was a bunch
green.
of Alice 1 and 2 and other stuff.
And you just found this.
I
It was
just found it.
1968 dated, right?
I think it's 1967.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it's rubberized.
Kinda.
It's that
I gotta bring it in for you one day.
hybrid. Yeah, I got to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say that was one of the items that you pulled out. I was like, oh my god, $10 for something like that. Ugh, it's like,
And I went back there again. I'm like, I'm going to find another one. I gave up after 10 minutes because I had my girlfriend with me.
You found, didn't you also found a 1967 compass pouch too, right? Plastic
I
stamp?
found like a bunch of 70s data ones.
I thought you had a 68 dated.
No, I bought that one from eBay.
I thought you got that one there. I guess I'm mistaken, but I thought it was something else you got too, right? While you're
Like
out
what?
there, that was really cool.
Oh, that's a bunch of cool stuff.
You had the 40 millimeter.
I got the plastic,
Bandolier, right?
Yeah, I got the six 40 millimeter practice rounds and the bandolier. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you had the dummy rounds. Yeah, with the blue tips.
Yeah, and they had chalk in it and stuff like that.
Yep, that's what they
That's
are.
pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
I also bought like 2 more helmets.
Yep, you got 2 M1s, right?
Yeah, 2 M1s, one with a Mitchell cover and OD green cover as well.
Yeah, the ODQ green is very nice.
Yeah,
It's
they were.
definitely-
They were just so cheap. I actually had to get them.
Oh yeah, when you find deals like that, and the thing that's not cool is that in our area we have very limited Army Navy
Yep.
options, and the pricing is usually not the greatest.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes you'll get lucky, but a lot of times stuff is like even stuff that should be cheap is overpriced. That's why I generally only buy on eBay or online in general. Because I can
Also-
at least hunt for a good price.
Yeah, I also bought that 3-cell grenade carrier too. That 67 dated.
Oh yeah, yep.
I bought a bunch of
And that's going to be
stuff.
coming up in a future post.
2 actually. Actually 1.
Just one?
Yeah.
Not using it in both? Oh, I'll probably come up with multiple posts, but
Yeah.
you have one lined up, one in the bullpen.
That's gonna be a February. That one's gonna be posted in February.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be I think my probably my best post. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good one.
Is that the one you showed me?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's gonna be good. That's gonna be a fun
good
one.
I think
Yeah.
both of them are gonna be really good.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely. So, that's gonna be fun. Hopefully, we can talk about that in the future.
I might post it January if I'm feeling a little frisky. Maybe January, February. Let's just see and find out.
I gotta start posting more myself, but no.
We gotta do some post
LARP,
together.
A little LARPing.
We gotta LARP together.
Once we get through the winter months, we'll do a little LARPing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it once. It's gonna start snowing soon. We're supposed to get snow this week, so unfortunately.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, but we do plan on doing. I do want to do some outside stuff. The inside stuff's fine, but I do want to get some proper backgrounds and stuff, so it doesn't feel so white backdrop kind of
Same thing again and again.
Yeah, again and again. It's fine, but I mean, I'm focused right now on completely different things, as you know. So I am working on other stuff, and it's taking all my time. So I think that pretty much covers most of Yellowstone. At least we can always revisit in the future. But I wanted to have you on to talk about Yellowstone while it's still fresh in your mind. I mean, if you go back, obviously, it'd be cool, and we can talk about it again then. But it's cool that you got this opportunity to go out and be a park ranger and get to do all the fun stuff and not fun stuff with being a park ranger. It's not all fun, I know.
No, I've had to deal with Angry August crowd. That was fun.
And all of this during the
COVID. Yeah.
the COVID. So I mean, that's another big thing.
Yeah, the federal government had to do other mandates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
too, that we had to
it gets
follow and
weird
stuff.
when your states are different from the federal, and then people. I can imagine that being weird, but it is what it is. Hopefully, those days are gonna be behind us eventually, but we'll see. One can only pray. So I think with that, we'll call this one. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hopefully, everyone enjoyed listening to you talk about Yellowstone and the likes, and hopefully, maybe you inspired someone to look into being.
Yeah, if you have any questions or you're curious about the position and what I do and stuff like that, just give me a DM on the Instagram or anything like that, really.
And
Even
again,
Facebook, I don't care.
That's Yankee Military.
Yankee Military.
Just had to plug it because you changed. So people listen to the old episodes are going to think you're still Bailey's Military Collection, but nope, you changed it. You wanted to give it a unique spice to it. So.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Hopefully we can get another episode done soon. If not, happy holidays because we're in that time of year. And hope you have a good time. So, all right.